Moral theory is the idea that law is determined by what humans see as right and wrong. Therefore, good law is what we see as morally correct. For example, stealing candy from a baby is seen as morally wrong and therefore illegal. Moral theorists argue that law is defined by our innate values of good and bad, not by authoritarian figures like a president or king. This theory suggests that human beings are rational creatures that can differentiate between good and bad, right and wrong, and all think the same way. One benefit to moral theory is that the law is the same for everyone, regardless of age, ethnicity, sexuality, and social class. In theory, if someone makes the correct moral decisions as defined by the law, they will lead a morally sound life. While moral theory sounds great, in reality it is impossible to get everyone in the world to agree to a uniform moral belief. This theory allows no subjectivity or space for deliberation. It assumes there is an innate understanding in every person, when time and time again this has been disproven. An example of a moral dilemma that has sparked a lot of law debate in this country is physician-assisted suicide. Many people see this act as merciful and kind, while others believe it's a form of murder. This is specifically an example of expression and moral theory. Another conflicting issue is explicit music. Some people find words to be extremely offensive, while others say that it makes the music more passionate or more relatable to them as listeners. For example, many explicit songs say the N-word, and this is very controversial in our society. Many people who listen to these songs on average wouldn't be offended or complain about this, but others who are passing through stations or catch their children listening to the music would not be okay with that. There is no concrete way to determine which is right and which is wrong because every person has a different opinion. Aristotle and Kant are believed to have contributed a lot of the foundation material of moral theory. However, the moral theory we have come to study today has been changed from the conclusions that Aristotle and Kant found. Neither Kant nor Aristotle ever asserted that human beings can simply deduce correct moral judgments from universal principles. Kant specifically stated that moral principles are not grounded on the peculiarities of human nature, but must be derivable for every rational nature. Kant held a more realistic and scientific understanding when it came to moral theory, which is instead of finding a single moral passage and enforcing that, we must find a moral passage that is derivable from all different moral standards, and that is what we should move forward with. A Supreme Court case that has been negotiated using moral theory is Obergefell v. Hodges, which ruled that states are required to allow same-sex couples to obtain a marriage license in all states across the U.S., and for all states to recognize a same-sex couple's marriage license. Justice Samuel A. Alito argued that the Constitution does not address the right of non-traditional couples to marry, and that the state should decide if they will recognize these marriages. Some people value this tradition and see the law as good law. Others disagree. Many people think that same-sex marriage is morally wrong and is meant between a man and a woman, while others believe it is wrong to exclude people from marriage just because of their sex. As society has developed to be more liberal, more people advocated for this law to be changed. If morality was steadfast, same-sex marriage would not be legal as it is today. This proves that morality is not innate and is ever-changing to better accommodate a variety of experiences and truths. A solution would be to recognize that moral theory is truly unattainable. Everyone has a different background, and there is no situation where everyone will have the same opinion. Bad and good is not a universal construct, therefore using it to make legal decisions is not trustworthy. Instead, the endeavor of moral theory should be to promote certain moral goals and principles that can be derived from many to all different viewpoints, just like Kant envisioned. We should not be focusing on clarifying words such as ought and right, but rather focusing on the nature of morality itself and how we can integrate it with our law, science, and religions.